What's your thoughts on expired canned food? I know everybody gets into rotating their
Mhm.
stockpiles and doing all, and we're all, I don't know, I shouldn't say we, I shouldn't rope other people into my less than adequate performance when it comes to that. But like I always end up when as soon as I start stockpiling cans, I know I'm going to have stuff expire in the next year
Right.
that I miss. So what are your thoughts on that? Because you see so much around the internet about that.
And I'm just going to tell you anecdotally what our conclusion is to this. Um, so here's an example, and then we'll talk about it. So I married Glenn Tate, like the author of 299 Days. And I've been to the cabin and I've been in the basement of the cabin. And it was a pretty impressive place in terms of preps. And in the basement of that cabin, of course, were number 10 tin cans of everything because he's a Glenn Tate and he wrote the 298 book series. And so when we moved, um, we had to clean. I had to clean all that out. Glenn didn't get that joy, and I found stuff that was expired. And I'll give you two examples. Number 10 tin cans of fruit. So I took one of them. That was, I believe it was mandarin oranges, and it had a ding in it. And I'm like, okay, let's open it up and see what it's like. And it was like 7 years expired,
Hmm.
like long time, not a short time. It's fine. It's completely fine, even with a slight ding in it. And I don't necessarily recommend doing that, but I wanted to just see. The other one was this, and this isn't packaged nearly as well. It was some pancake mix, of course, because it's Glen Tate. That was in one of those kind of Mylar bags where you tear off the top and it's got
Yeah.
like the zip. And it was from Costco, pancake mix. And that was expired by like 7 or 8 years. I tried it myself and it was fine. And then the next day, the team came over and I served them pancakes and I asked them, how does it taste? They said, tastes fine. I'm like, it's expired by like a million years. Like I was joking. But so I do think that there's, there's a chance to show wisdom here. Certainly food companies need to follow their, oh my gosh, we can't kill anybody in case something goes bad and we want to sell more food. So they do you'll notice they say best by more than expired.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think you're safe, especially canned food that is stored decently in a pretty, temperature controlled. You're not super heat and super cold kind of areas. You are fine. You'll hear stories that came out of I want to say the Bosnian collapse where they were eating spam food from like 20 years before because they were so desperately hungry during that time. I think you're pretty good. Think you're pretty good on some of these Mylar ones too. I'm just saying. But do I want to put my entire, food supply and have that much trust in it on those? No, but I would cycle through those foods and do a better job than we did of the food that was in the basement of the cabin. But yeah, I think you have more time than you think. I think you can add 3 or 4 or 5 years to those cans, and by then you really should start cycling through them. I do think the pull top ones, the ones with that you see a lot of, I certainly those are not as stable, but they're more stable than a zip, a Mylar bag from Costco too.
So
So
do you know
yeah,
why they're not as stable with the pull top? Just because it's
this
not sealed as well, or
it doesn't have as strong. It doesn't have a metallic seal. It's more of a plastic seal. So
oh, I didn't even think of that. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Have
you
you
got
ha-
some time. Yeah.
have you had any bad experiences with like expired food at all, or
The only time I have is with something like nuts or
oh,
flour
really?
that it's nuts in particular because nuts have oil in them and go rancid. And so that's just, do a sniff test. And if you can smell it, it's not good. But honestly, no, I haven't. I really haven't.